Hello, this is Dr. Gilek Seibert for Doc of Clock, my off hours website. It has been a year since I started the website, and it has been experience in learning what it is to have creative freedom, but also to collaborate with people that I really admire, that inspire me. If you go to the section of my blog, Talk with Doc, you will see who are my guests and why I chose them. And it's Dr. Gold, who is a chiropractic and talks about alternative approach to musculoskeletal health. I'm a rheumatologist, and collaboration with people like Chris is absolutely a must for well-being of my patients, or to understand what are their needs, what additional resources they're looking for and utilizing. Then there is also conversation with Dr. Nula, physical therapist, who sat down with me twice and talk about his practice, about the way that he helps patients. Those experiences are very humbling. And I'm happy that these professionals and people are so open-minded to sit down and talk freely with me about their expertise in the field. And there is the yoga instructor, Karen, who I absolutely adore, who I follow every week to her class, which is the experience for me of health for my body, but also how I can grow together with Karen in her practice of meditation and physical wellness. You can go to my website and see interview with Karen about her very gentle, but very effective approach to yoga. There's also interview with psychologist Ellie, who I work with in my real life settings as a rheumatologist. She's a psychologist nurse, and we talked about the stress of the pandemic. And there's so many stresses. If you go back, even before that, I talked to nutritionist Emily, who we talked about healthy approach to diet, especially in a pandemic. We know that patients who are overweight with obesity were markedly disadvantaged while getting infected with coronavirus. So it is very important that we pay attention to that. There is also another direction that I want to continue to pursue. It's the artistic freedom, creative freedom, not only of me creating some mini arts experiences, but also talking to people who create in their own right, very wonderful established artists or writers. One of them is, of course, Steve Lyons from Cape Cod, who is an inspirational artist. He is an impressionist, and his gallery in Chatham is so beautiful. Steve was diagnosed with very serious condition, but despite of that, and maybe perhaps because of that, he sat down with me for a wonderful interview that is unforgettable and will always be on the list of my biggest accomplishments so far. I also talked with a friend of Steve, Libby Likings. She's a physician assistant, she's a mom, she's a writer. She also has her own magazine, Metamorphosis, for which I wrote a piece in the past year. Last year, Libby published a book, Reflections on Transcendence, that you can buy on any website that carries books, and there are also links to that on my website. And this book is inspiration for your meditative space, where you can look at paintings of Steve Lyons accompanied by inspirational phrases that speak to Libby, and she chose for our experiences with the space that we should be looking for and searching deep down, where we can relax, disconnect from our words. Where am I going then next? I want to polish what I'm doing already well, what I like doing, the interviews with people that you already know about. But if you want to look into that, follow my website. That's where you're going to find a lot of information about that. I'm going to start with brain, with neuroplasticity. How can you start? Well, there's a few things you can already start working on. First, think about the stress in your life. There's a good stress, like physical activity. If you stress your muscles, you allow later on also for recovery. rebuild, renewal within the tissue, but also strengthening the tissue that you've been working on. You can work on proper diet. One diet that I think is very good for your brain and for your well-being is the anti-inflammatory fruit vegetable-based diet, and the simplest way to go about it is Mediterranean diet. There are multiple good resources where you can research what this diet means. And there are other things you can do. Build a happiness, build a space for yourself, for distressing. So stress is going to not help you to progress in your years gracefully. Only with the full brain capacity, you will be able to enjoy the moment, reach back, but also plan for moving forward. And because brain is so important to me as well, as a rheumatologist, scientist, educator, and a human being, I want to start with that subject. There's also another thing that I'm doing for health of my brain. And you can see me here behind the curtain of my sweater. So it was supposed to be a dress, but I'm changing the project into the sweater. This is the back side of that. Well, I'm not sure if you like my sweater or not. It's not finished yet, obviously. I talk about benefits of knitting on my website, but I notice more and more benefits of it. The one thing, while I'm talking about the brain, is how knitting allow me to focus during medical conferences. You can turn the video off when it's appropriate, and I go to knitting. And there is something about this creative concentrating on the work of your hands that connects with the brain, but doesn't occupy it. It creates the particular amount of focus needed to concentrate on the lecture. It's been amazing. We also started a knitting club with one of my friends, Emma, and we're meeting so far every Sunday. We will be looking how to progress with the club, whether we want to invite more people. But knitting also means other things to me. It's connecting back with my childhood when I learned this skill from my mom. My mom made a few sweaters and other projects. I don't remember her being very productive knitter, but I learned that skill at home, and later on I had few opportunities to do it at school. And I continue right now. And I'm definitely going to be working a little bit more on my sweater. And me and my friend are meeting weekly in our knitting club. We are recruiting new members, and I'll tell you more about it. There will be so much more on the process of growing older gracefully in the next few months. So again, stay tuned and stay well.